about my level 1 experience. I know this video is so late and I was supposed to do it like weeks ago, like before this semester started, but better late than never, so that's why I'm doing it now. Okay, before I get into my classes and everything that I did for level 1, I'm going to be talking about like the whole spiel of my school. So we are a fast track program, 4 levels. Once you're in, you do it and then you're out. So I started the summer of 2020. I am doing level 2 right now, so fall, so summer, fall, spring is level 3, and then I'll continue my level 4 in summer, and then I'm done. It's very, very fast, so in total I'll be in school for like 3.5 years. Freshman and sophomore year was prereqs, and then we had to also do the HESI, which I'll mention later, apply, and then boom, you're in. So it's not direct entry, but honestly I feel like if you put in the hard work, you're gonna get in, honestly. So yeah, I just talked about prereqs, and then like when I got into so anyways, prereqs, nursing school, night, day, girl, is different. And yeah, I went in knowing that, but then when I got in there, oh no, I was like, yeah, it's gonna hit you. And honestly, I cried almost every day for 4 weeks, or at least teared up. It's rough. Anyways, I'm gonna rate the classes from what needed my attention the most to least. So first off is foundations. Fundamentals, whatever you want to call it, it's the same thing. This class is literally the entry into critical thinking, so I had no idea, or I mean, obviously I knew how to critical think, right? You think you know, but then when you're in nursing school, that's when, yeah. I had a very, very rough professor, meaning jank. Okay, he ain't the best, but he tried, you know. So basically I taught myself in that class. We are very PowerPoint heavy here, so I relied on my PowerPoints. I did not read the book. The only time I read the book was for tables, and then I would do my notes for it. So this is how I do my note taking for pretty much all the classes I'm going over today. What I do is I take the PowerPoints, kind of skim through it, also note important things that my professor would like emphasize on. I'd like bold it, color it, highlight it, whatever. When I go home, I open Microsoft OneNote and I created like notebooks per class. And then in that class, I would do the PowerPoint like as my title, like that lesson, like say for example lesson 1, and then I would copy and paste all the important slides, which was almost every slide for fundamentals, but copy and pasted it, and then inputted my own notes or the speaker notes. The speaker notes is literally copy paste from the textbook, well here at least. So honestly, I just really didn't need to read the textbook. Only for clarification, or if I really, really wanted to just make sure I knew what I was learning about, then I would read. For the most part, did not read, did not open, only for the tables. Another thing that really helped me was Quizlets. So there's this girl, her name is Sayla Sislo. I'm sorry if I really butchered your last name, but girl, I used her Quizlets every single day to study. There's 5 exams for this class, and there's 2 HESIs, but they only take like, they take both HESI scores, but they pretty much grade you on 1, and then you do like remediation if you didn't pass the, I believe it's like 75%. I didn't pass both times, so don't be discouraged or don't be worried. It's totally okay to not pass. They just do it to see where you are, and like, yeah, if you do pass and you get 1,000, you get this gold pin. I had some classmates, but that was not me, sorry. Anyways, like I said, there's 5 exams, there's 2 HESIs, but something about that exam, or like those exams that I want to mention, is that every answer is right, or for the most part, every answer is right, but you just have to choose the best one. And I know everybody talks about this in nursing school, these that's literally how exams are structured. All the answers seem right, you have to choose the best one, and I think that's where, like, experiencing my first exam for fundamentals and seeing the way like those questions and the answers were structured, it was just so mind-boggling to me, because I was so used to just picking one answer, the right answer. But for this class, because it tests your critical thinking and it introduces you to how you should critically think, yeah, I think that really trips you up the most. So just be on the lookout and really focus on that, like knowing your content, knowing what to do, knowing what's best for the patient, thinking about safety, thinking about ABCs, all of that stuff. Keep those in mind, because those are always priority for the patient. And then like work your way to like eliminate, process of elimination. Yeah, that's all I have to say for the exams for foundations. Okay, so like I said earlier, foundations is a very heavy critical thinking class. It just introduces you to the way nurses should think, or like that critical thinking level. I honestly had a hard time critical thinking, like in my head. I just didn't know. But as time went on, I was able to create, how would I call this? Those like bubble maps or thinking maps. So I would always try to connect one thing to the next, and then I would like use AdPi in my head. Like it was a whole thing, but I did train myself to critically think, which was super cool. And like, but I'm very slow. I'm a very slow critical thinker, and I know by the end of level 4, everybody will be great critical thinkers. Yeah, it will come with time, most def. But yeah, critical thinking, girl. Okay, so besides the lecture, there is also a lab. So Foundations has a 3-hour lab, I believe. It was super fun. There were like a lot of days where I'd feel really tired, and like I would honestly just go through the motions, but do pay attention to the skills that you learn, because you will be using those in the hospitals during clinicals. I'll talk about clinicals in a little bit, but you do learn a lot of skills. It's very hands-on, so I enjoyed Foundations lab the most. And that lab, I believe, was the vitals PBA, so you learn how to do vital signs without the machine, so on your own, which was super cool. It was my first nursing thing I got to do, and we did that at week 5 of level 1. Oh my god, okay, wait, and before I move on, my tip for Foundations is to focus more on the assessment and interventions. Always interventions. Know what to do for your patient. Okay, yeah, that's my number 1 tip. Interventions. Okay, the next class is health assessment. So obviously you assess, that's in the name of the class. People have told me that this class has been the easiest for them, but I don't know, girl. Maybe I'm just a little kooky in the head, but I had a hard time in this class too. I don't know, something about it. I had a hard time. Especially exam 3, girl. And 2. Ooh. Okay, anyways, like the last class, health assessment is PowerPoint heavy. I did not read the book. I don't remember ever touching the book, opening the book, whatever, looking through it. Even just for small things, I did not open that book. Use the PowerPoints. I feel like it's everything that you need is either from the PowerPoint or your professor has said it in lecture. So also pay attention in lecture, because they might like slip in a couple of things. Yeah, I learned my lesson the hard way, to listen to your professor. I really thought she was just going over it, but no, girl, she be telling you hints, so make sure you listen. In terms of note taking, I did it in a similar manner as Foundation. So I would highlight everything important, copy paste it, note or jot down my notes myself, and then use Quizlet to test myself. Literally that routine I would do over and over and over again until I got the concepts down, and then I would move on to the next lecture, because every week is super busy. You don't get a break in level 1. I honestly don't. Maybe there was a couple times I was able to take a breath, but like honestly, you're just working, making sure you focus on like the other class, so like Foundations and like Then health assessment, I had to make a whole schedule, in which I will get to after in a bit, okay? The other thing that was very difficult about this class was the PBA. So at the end, you get to do a head-to-toe assessment on your friend, your lab partner, and that was very difficult because I felt like I was an actress. I was an actress. Like, I had to memorize lines and then do what I had to do, the assessment thing per system. It wasn't that bad. I was able to pass with flying colors, but it is a lot. Like, you do get overwhelmed. I'm not sugarcoating it or anything. It's overwhelming, but if you keep practicing it and just do it, it's just repetition. Like anatomy, it's just repetition. So yeah, just like foundations, health assessment also has a lab. I believe this one is 2 hours. Correct me if I'm wrong. I had fun in this one too. We got to listen to mannequins, or like use mannequins. So if we were going over respiratory or say cardiac, they would bring us into a separate room with the mannequin, and they would, with their little device, change the sounds so you can hear what normal sounds are like, and then if there was something wrong, like wheezing, say for respiratory, we could listen to that with our stethoscopes. Obviously, it wasn't natural, it was automated or whatever, but it was still cool to hear the different sounds, like, for sure, in a sense. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. That's pretty much it for health assessment. So moving on to pharmacology. Pharmacology, girl. I feel like if you succeeded in anatomy and phys with memorization and all that kind of stuff, you'll pass in pharm. Like, I felt like pharm was easy but hard at the same time. It was easy in the sense of once you got to drugs, you're literally just memorizing it. So if you're good at memorizing it, piece of cake. But then also you'd have to critically think. I forgot how some of the questions went in pharm, but I'm sure, like, if I had a patient and they were experiencing blah blah blah, what drug am I going to give them? Obviously that sounds like that's basic math, but you know what I mean. You'd have to know your drugs well. You have to know, I think for me, I'd focus more on the class and the action. All the side effects and yada yada yada. I know people are like, oh my god, I had to memorize all these side effects. Know what's specific to the drug. Like, don't memorize nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. Like, girl, that's with all drugs. Like, no, like, there's a drug that gives you purple glove syndrome. Like, remember those small things. Also, assessments. Say for like digoxin, like drugs like digoxin, you'd have to know the pulse rate or the specific pulse rate you can administer it and stuff like that. Just know all of the things that make the drug so special, and I think from there you'll be able to pass and answer those questions about what drug to give to that patient. I think the exams are pretty easy. They're very straightforward. I also think, sorry, like going backwards, health assessment is pretty straightforward. There is some critical thinking in pharm, I want to say, but for the most part, just know your drugs. That's all. I think the hardest part was making sure my drug cards were done. They're not due, they're not for a due date, but they are like recommended for you to do. And I took that seriously because I wanted to be organized and study appropriately. So I did those. And then I test myself, like with my friends. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say for pharm. It's very straightforward. It's just hard to do the drug cards. I'm selling my drug cards. If you need them, DM me, girl. I'm also selling my notes for the other 2 classes I went over. Wow, this is a really shameless plug. Shameless plug. Putting that shameless plug here.
Da, 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 da. It's the one and only Digo Double G. Snoop Dogg.
I am selling my drug cards for those who need it because they can't take notes because they have a job, or if you just need something to look, like compare with, totally buy my drug cards. You can DM me, message me, whatever. Also for health assessment and for fundamentals, I am selling my notes as well if you needed somebody to like compare, or if you just have a hard time understanding and have somebody, like, you can use my notes to compare. I'm there for you, girl. Just DM me. And I'm also selling my HESI A and P notes and Patho if you ever need. I was able to get over 90% on the HESI, so if that means anything to you, I have my A and P notes that helped me, and also a math conversion table. Just DM me if you're interested in purchasing. Okay, moving on to the last class. I believe this is the last class. 310, which was Introduction to Professional Nursing. Yeah, that's a long one. Girl, I don't know what to say about that class. Till this day, I know there was like stuff, like, to be honest, like everyone's like, and I want to give this response too, but like, girl, what the was it with that class about? Honestly, I loved our professor, but everyone can pretty much agree with me that that class was a study hall or a nap class, whatever you want to. Yep. The exams were kind of difficult, but for the most part, if you just understand, go over the PowerPoints and listen from now and like every so often, you'll pass. They're not that hard. But yeah, that class, I did not take notes for that class. I just looked over the PowerPoints like literally like a week or a couple days before the exam, and I made it out alive, so I'm sure you can too. Just look at the questions on the exam and just choose the best. So I did have a couple questions, hold on. So I'm just gonna answer these like very quickly. So I did get a couple questions from some of you guys on my account. A lot of you guys asked how I balanced school and a lot of you guys asked how I balanced school and my personal life. That was honestly really difficult because I was doing long distance and also having my family at home. I'm from Hawaii, so imagine like the sea is literally splitting me and my loved ones. It was hard. It was very hard to do, but if you just organize your way through, give rest time for yourself, and I honestly think you'll succeed. What I also used was Notion. I'll insert my Notion, what it looks like here, but every week I made a list of what I needed to get done, everything that I needed to achieve. By doing so, I honestly think that's why I was able to pass without being so stressed. I was stressed, but not as stressed as I see other people get. Really like planning out your day. That sounds so psychotic, like being that girl to plan out your whole day, but it helps. It gives you structure. I recommend it. I'm that girl that does that now, so call me psycho. The hardest class for level 1, like I said, was foundations, because critically thinking, common sense. You really think I got that? No, but you do get it at the end. So critical thinking and all of that kind of stuff was very new for me, or like in a nurse's mind. So that's why I think foundations was the hardest. The best tip for level 1 students is organize. Like I said, organizing your life, your classes, your study schedule, giving times that pockets of break. It's so important. There's no like right or wrong way to study, so whatever fits you best, I say you do it. That's my best tip, is to find your rhythm. That's really, really broad, but it works. My biggest struggle, what was my biggest struggle? Honestly, I feel like was breathing or taking that pockets of break. Something that helped me was going to the gym, and I felt like sometimes going to the gym was not enough for me. It was just hard because like I really wanted to sleep, or I really wanted to do something or go out. I wasn't able to enjoy my summer, and I think that's what really like brought me down. I had a lot of time, like a lot of moments where I'd break down, and I think it got easier as the semester went by. There's just a lot of factors, because it was summertime, because I was in a dorm, because I was stuck here on campus. I had no car, just my friends. Like, yeah, I had my support system here, but being away from family, my loved one, like, or they're all, being away from my loved ones is just really hard during the summer. It felt like a whole year passed being here in the summer, and I think that was my biggest struggle, besides studying and making sure I was on top of things. How would I compare myself when I first started to where you are now? I guess comparing myself from prereqs at the time, I was very studious, and I really worked hard to get to the nursing program, and which I did, but I honestly wish that like that studiousness transferred over to level 1. And I know you guys will probably say like, Beth, you look studious in both, but it's just like, no girl, the motivation, it was like totally different before. But comparing myself from level 1 to now, it's pretty crazy. I mean, I had faith in myself. God blessed me with everything that I have and for me to pass and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just amazed that I was able to get past through that whole busy schedule. It was literally 2 exams, 1 exam, 2 exams, 1 exam every week. So just bypassing those 15 weeks of horror, I am like shocked. And sorry, I'll go over that later. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that. And Gabby also says, so proud of you. Thank you. It means a lot. Like I said, the biggest thing is just finding your balance, finding your self-care time, and just organizing your way through to make sure you evenly like prepare yourself for the exams for every class, and also retain that information. It's nursing school is not like where you can learn something, dump it in the trash, move forward. You have to keep everything in your head because you need it for your career. But yeah. Okay, I also forgot to mention my clinical experience. So besides having the lecture and the lab, you also get experience at clinicals. For me, I was placed at a daycare, an adult daycare center. They called it like a school for seniors, which was super sweet. Like, we got to teach the seniors like a topic of our choice. So I remember like we taught them about like the Olympic sports at the time. You get to create a personal connection with them one-on-one. So I honestly think my facility was great for therapeutic communication practice. I didn't get a lot of like bed baths or perineal care or taking them to the bathroom. Like, I really didn't get much experience in that since they were not in beds. They were up and going and we were doing activities. So I didn't get to do much of those skills, but I know I'll be able to do them in level 2 because I am placed in the hospital now for my med-surg and for my psych clinicals. So I'll let you know about that in my level 2 review. But yeah, I had fun at clinicals for those 4 weeks. I believe they went by really fast, and they were 8-hour shifts. So now you'll be graduating into 12-hour shifts in level 2 and beyond. So yeah, for the most part, that's pretty much it. If you guys are interested in anything else that I've talked about in this video, feel free to message me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. My level 1 experience wasn't that bad. It sounded horrific at the time when I was in it, but looking back at it, you do grow a lot from level 1. So yeah, here's to becoming a baby nurse, and I'll become a real nurse later, hopefully next year. It's just part 1 and it's just the beginning, so I'm really excited to share my whole journey. Good luck to you people in level 1, and for those who are not even in nursing school yet, you got it. I believe in you. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. If you have any questions, like I said, just DM me, message me. You got it. Take a deep breath. Go to the gym. It's a good stress reliever. Plus, you need to grow those muscles to carry your patients and move them around in the bed. Okay, yeah, that's all I have to say. Okay, bye.